Good afternoon, you're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the corruption detector, and this is your Red Pill News. First of all, here we have a story from Seattle Times. Q13 Fox staffer fired after TV station airs altered Trump video. This is just insanity. I cannot believe that this is happening. But this was during the State of the Oval Office speech from the other night. A staffer at a local Fox affiliate, Q13, has been fired after the station aired what appears to be a doctored video of President Donald Trump's Tuesday night speech from the Oval Office. The video was changed to make it look as if Trump was sticking his tongue out languidly between sentences. In addition, the colors in the video look more saturated, leading the president's skin and hair to appear more orange. During the speech, Trump said, "Hopefully, we can rise above partisan politics in order to support national security," briefly before licking his lips and continuing to speak. In the video broadcast on Q13, it appears that Trump let his tongue hang out, resting it on his lower lips for an unusually long time. This does not meet our editorial standards, and we regret if it is seen as portraying the president in a negative light, Q13 News Director Erica Hill wrote in an emailed statement last Thursday. Later Thursday morning, Hill released another statement saying, "We've completed our investigation in this incident and determined that the actions were the result of an individual editor whose employment has been terminated." Thank God. A side-by-side comparison of what aired live on CNN and the clip shown later on Q13 shows the discrepancy. Altering and manipulating images has become all the more easy and tempting in today's world of fractured politics and accessible technology. This is that deep fake technology that they've been talking about recently. Last year, a video of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas high school shooting survivor Emma Gonzalez ripping a copy of the U.S. Constitution whipped conservatives into a froth. Gonzalez never did such a thing. The original picture of her ripping a paper gun target. The video had been doctored and spread via social media. Now, you can see here in this picture, this is a couple of stills taken from the video, and it shows the original picture on the left. This is her ripping that gun target. I never saw this at the time, but on the right is her ripping the Constitution. And I also think that it's kind of funny that they made her face look a lot more pale, and she looks almost a little bit zombie-like. Look at the dark circles under the eyes right there. But you can tell looking at it that it wasn't real, so I don't know. I didn't see it at the time. In 2010, The Economist got into trouble for altering a photo to remove people standing on a beach with former President Barack Obama. Obama and two other people were at a Louisiana beach with oil platforms in the distance. A photo editor at the magazine cropped out one person and digitally removed the other, creating the illusion of Obama standing alone at water's edge contemplating the damage. More common these days, however, are images altered by social media users and circulated to stoke political ire, as the Gonzalez video did, to spread misinformation or disinformation, to target and harass particular people. For example, a recent Washington Post story explained how realistic-looking certain types of videos are being digitally generated to humiliate women. A fake sex tape with Wonder Woman star Gal Gadot's face swapped onto somebody else's body, as an example, circulated in 2017. These forgeries, known as deep fakes, can be hard to spot. BuzzFeed and Quartz have published several guides to help you sort fact from fiction. Researchers at the University of Washington's Paul G. Allen School of Computer Science and Engineering said in 2017 they had developed algorithms that allow a user to turn audio clips into lip-synced video. The UW's technology is different from the tools that would have been used to doctor the Trump video that aired on Q13. But the announcement raised immediate concerns about the potential for malicious uses. One of the UW researchers defended the invention at a TED Talk last year. Now, we know that we had seen certain people talking about this on our certain favorite board, and the reason they're bringing all this out is so that this can be seeded in people's consciousness. Oh, they can fake videos? Well, then maybe this video that I am now seeing that is evidence of this person's guilt is not a real video. So we are actually going to be taking a look at this video here in just a moment. So here is the video. On the left was the president's original video. This was what we all saw on my live stream that night. And then on the right is the fake video of President Trump with the obviously enlarged mouth, The orange skin and orange hair, and look that. They just let his lip stick on his lip like that. It's so obviously fake. I can't believe that guy thought that he was going to get away with it. But thank God he didn't. And now the gentleman is fired, and I think he's going to have a really hard time finding a job in the broadcast industry after that stunt. Okay, on to the next. And next, from the Gateway Pundit, Rod Rosenstein is leaving the DOJ. Now we can call him back to testify under oath. Rod Rosenstein is resigning. Rosenstein may be gone by the end of the month or as soon as Attorney General Designate Barr is confirmed. Rod Rosenstein may be gone by the end of next month or as soon as Attorney General Designate Barr is confirmed. He is resigning and he has not been forced out, or so the official story goes. Rosenstein is the Deputy Attorney General of the United States Department of Justice. He is number 2, literally, not figuratively. Of course, the Mueller probe reported through him until it was taken away just weeks ago. As a relatively unknown figure until recently, he is not unimportant. Rather timid and mild-mannered, Rosenstein does not look authoritative in either appearance or tone. A longtime DOJ employee, Rosenstein was previously U.S. Attorney for the District of Maryland, where he in fact served in the position longer than any of his predecessors. President Trump appointed him as deputy to Attorney General Sessions, and the U.S. Senate confirmed him only in April of 2017. Rosenstein rose to awareness fast since Sessions recused himself on all Russia matters. Rosenstein forced him to do so. Rosenstein authored the memo, which Trump used to dismiss the FBI Director James Comey. In his memo, Rosenstein asserted that the FBI must have a director who understands the gravity of the mistakes and pledges never to repeat them. He ended with an argument against keeping Comey as FBI director on the grounds that he was given an opportunity to admit his errors and that there is no hope that he will implement the necessary corrective actions. He was more critically the same month the person who appointed Robert Mueller as special counsel to investigate the Trump campaign interaction and possible collusion with Russia during the 2016 election. A Philadelphian, Rosenstein grew up in a small business, Jewish family, and went on to the Wharton School at UPenn. He took a BS in economics and went on to do his JD at Harvard Law School, where he was an editor of the prestigious Harvard Law Review. After clerking in the U.S. Court of Appeals, Rosenstein joined the DOJ at the start of his career as a trial lawyer in the criminal division, which, interestingly, was led by none other than then Attorney General Mueller. In the Clinton days, he was counsel to the Deputy Attorney General and saw everything that took place in the administration. He was chosen to work with independent counsel Kenneth Starr on the Whitewater investigation into President Clinton. From there, he went on to be one of the top attorneys in the tax division, where he managed a large team of attorneys. President George W. Bush nominated Rosenstein to his U.S. attorney position in 2005. There, he actively prosecuted gangs, racketeering, fraud by county political leaders, and corrupt police officers. Nominated to a seat on the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, his nomination lapsed without support from Democrats on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Rosenstein is a registered Republican. He has said he has no loyalty pledge other than to the oath of office. Rosenstein has come under closer scrutiny and has been in the crosshairs. Did he cover up malfeasance in the department? We know he extended the notorious FISA court warrants used to perform surveillance on the Trump team. Whose team is he on? To ask the proverbial question. Called a prosecutor, not a persecutor, by a lawyer friend, Rosenstein is supposedly a by-the-book kind of lawyer. He did think that Comey broke the rules. Was he used by Trump, or was Trump frustrated by him now that the goods are out? 11 House GOP members filed articles of impeachment against Rosenstein on July 25, 2018, alleging he stonewalled document requests from Congress and he mishandled the 2016 election investigation. Did he really offer to wear a wire to get Trump on the record so as to use the 25th Amendment and put his presidency into play? He denies it, while others insist it to be the case. Does he protect his pals in the deep state because he is really one of them? Should he have gone long ago? Perhaps the new chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Lindsey Graham, would do us all a service and subpoena him to testify the day he leaves office, on the record. There are a lot of questions to answer. Better schedule 2 or 3 days. Lots of good questions about Rod Rosenstein, and lots of good information about his background in history. So what do you guys think? Do you think that Rosenstein was working for the deep state, or do you think he was secretly working for Trump that whole time? I don't know, but hopefully soon enough, we're going to find out. Next from the Gateway Pundit, awful CNN star contributor Ana Navarro files nails on live TV as a guest discusses murders by illegal aliens. What a horrible person. There she is, Ana Navarro. This is CNN. Star CNN personality Ana Navarro rolled her eyes and filed her nails as a conservative guest, Steve Cortez, described innocent Americans murdered by illegal aliens. Steve Cortez was quoted, "You can do your nails. You know who can't do their nails? Are people killed by illegal aliens who've been allowed to stay in this country because of leftist policies that people like you promote in so-called sanctuary cities." Navarro then started screaming at the guest, saying, "I don't care what you have to say." Wow. Let's take a listen.
Yes, there are. No, but even if that's fake news to say there are not. It's fake news.
It's fake news for you to inject BS and say that it's equal to the real data.
It's not BS. But even if I were to grant you that, okay, the point is the illegal alien crime rate should be zero. It should be. You can do your nails. You know who can't do their nails? Are people who've been killed, Anna, by dangerous, known illegal aliens who've been allowed to stay in this country because of the leftist policies that people like you promote in so-called sanctuary cities
to allow them to hide in plain sight. Just because you want to compromise your values.
Go back to,
listen, I don't care.
Back to filing your nails.
What you call me. To me, you're practically as irrelevant as Donald
Well, you sure seem to care.
Well, no, I don't have to care. I don't have to care, and a lot of America doesn't have to
file his
care. You
nails,
love to
Ana
come
Navarro.
in here
Maybe
and
you
you
can. He doesn't have that luxury because he's dead.
When I was a supporting Republican candidate, when you were under a rock,
How rude. Jeez, oh, Pete. And Chris Cuomo looks like the insane people are running the freaking asylum. He doesn't know what to do. Blinky McBlinkerson over there. What a class act, that Ana Navarro. Wow. Hope she goes far in life. Watch as Joe Biden flees after a reporter asks if he still gropes children. Joe Biden is running, but not for president. He was spotted running away from a reporter who questioned the former vice president on whether he still gropes children. Hey, Joe, if you're going to run for president, you might want to address this type of situation instead of running away. Okay, let's take a look.
Mr. Biden, are you still groping senators' children? Creepy Joe Biden? Creepy Joe Biden on YouTube? Sir, have you seen the video? It's pretty disgusting, sir.
Oh, no.
No, I'm not saying it. He knows I mean it. I genuinely mean it.
That's good to hear.
Do you know what my dad used to say? His granddaughter said, one, take care of the pot. That's the most important one.
Look at his hands. She's not comfortable. This one's the most obvious. Oh, they cut it off. All right, well, in this portion of the video, Joe Biden is seen leaning into this poor little girl's ear, getting way too uncomfortably close, while her parents smile on creepily, and she is clearly uncomfortable. This is exactly what this person was talking about when asking Joe Biden if he'd seen the video. Creepy Joe Biden. If you haven't Googled or YouTubed Creepy Joe Biden, do it right now, okay? For your own edification. Share that video far and wide, because Joe Biden is a person that we need to make sure never holds elected office again. Next, we have breaking news from the Gateway Pundit. Staunch Hillary supporter is the same source behind the bogus Trump-Russia bank connections and bogus elements in the Steele dossier. Here it is. The flowchart. A review of the data pertaining to the accusations in the phony Steele dossier about a Trump-Russia bank connection discovered the source is most likely the same source that FBI used to obtain a FISA warrant to investigate the Trump Alpha bank connection. This person also just happens to be a radical Hillary Clinton supporter. It's been more than 2 years since the 2016 election, and Americans still don't really know the sources for the phony Steele dossier used by the FBI and DOJ to obtain FISA warrants to spy on then-candidate and now President Trump. This nightmare for President Trump all started in June 2016. After news broke that the Democratic National Committee had been hacked, a group of prominent computer scientists went on alert. The group of individuals, led by a Hillary supporter, started snooping around the Trump Tower computers to allegedly see if these servers had also been hacked. There she is. This group was led by Indiana University professor and staunch Hillary supporter Gene Camp. Professor Camp, according to Circa, was a staunch Hillary Clinton supporter. A respected computer scientist who raised concerns about a possible connection between President Trump and a Russian bank is an unabashed Hillary Clinton supporter who made multiple small donations to the Democrats' presidential campaign around the time she and her colleagues surfaced the allegations. Some techies uncovered that the Trump Tower servers began to be bombarded with the same exact invalid lookup requests that used the words Trump and Alpha together, which were automatically placed in the server's log file by the server. According to the New York Times, computer logs showed that 2 servers at Alpha Bank sent more than 2,700 lookup messages to the Trump servers. At the same time, the FBI received a complaint from cyber experts about a possible Trump-Alpha Bank connection, which then led to the FBI to investigate a Trump-Alpha Bank connection. According to the New York Times, in classified sessions in August and September of 2016, intelligence officials also briefed congressional leaders on the possibility of financial ties between Russians and people connected to Mr. Trump. They focused particular attention on what cyber experts said appeared to be a mysterious computer back channel between the Trump Organization and Alpha Bank, which is one of Russia's biggest banks and whose owners have long-standing ties to Mr. Putin. At about the same time that the FBI began its investigation, Christopher Steele began pushing the now-debunked claim that Trump was connected to Alpha Bank. In mid-September, Steele submitted his memos, and at least one of these included the Trump-Alpha Bank connection. Steele submitted these memos to the press and to the FBI. We know that the FBI received a copy because at this time, the FBI sought and received a FISA warrant related to Russia-linked bank using the Steele dossier as evidence. This is the only plausible piece of evidence that the FBI could have used. Before this time, the FBI was turned down by the FISA court, but on this occasion, a warrant was granted. As McCabe said, the FISA warrants would not have been granted without the Steele dossier. The FBI had no other evidence on the Trump-Russia bank connection, and as time went by, they had no additional evidence. The far-left New York Times then reported, law enforcement officials say that none of the investigations so far have found any conclusive or direct link between Mr. Trump and the Russian government, and even the hacking into Democratic emails. FBI and intelligence officials now believe was aimed at disrupting the presidential election rather than electing Mr. Trump. The reason the FBI wasn't able to find anything was because the claims were based entirely on DNS logs, digital records of when one server looks up how to contact another across the internet. A forensic examination conducted by Alpha Bank of the Alpha Bank computer revealed that the only communications that took place regarding Trump were those logged requests coming from outside its servers noted by the New York Times above. No other communications were found, as indicated in the forensic report related to the subject. Alpha Bank then blamed Gene Camp and Associates for artificially setting up a false Trump Alpha Bank narrative and threatened a lawsuit. In May of this year, 2017, the bank tapped Kirkland & Ellis LLP, a white shoe American law firm, to write a letter to L. Gene Camp, an esteemed Indiana University computer scientist and researcher, and a vocal supporter of the claims made by Tea Leaves. This initial letter, first reported by CNN, claimed that the Camp investigation into the covert server chatter had encouraged inquiries into supposed links to the Trump Organization, and that her activities continue to this day to promote an unwarranted investigation into Alpha Bank's communication with the Trump Organization. The letter added that Alpha Bank is exploring all available options to protect itself, including litigation and causes of action under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, further demanding that Camp preserve all records pertaining to the Tea Leaves research. Such a preservation request is often the precursor to a lawsuit. There would be more letters. Alpha Bank contacted Professor Camp and demanded she hand over her emails related to the Trump-Alpha Bank connection, but she would not. The bank's position is that the professor is an employee of a public entity, Indiana University, but still Camp's attorneys have refused to comply. Alpha would like to know who all was involved in her sending requests to the banks and Trump servers, and with reporting the incident as a fact that Trump and Alpha Bank had a secret back channel to each other. In March of 2017, FBI head Comey confirmed there was no connection between Trump and Alpha Bank. Now it appears that the same far-left Hillary lover created the entire mess and that the FBI and Christopher Steele used this faulty information to attack candidate and then President Trump. Boom. Bunch of lies. All right, guys. Well, that's all we've got for you today. I do want to thank you for tuning in. Once again, this has been Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this was your Red Pill News Brief. Good luck, everyone, and God bless.